Welcome back to an Out of Spec Reviews video. I have with me the F-150 Lightning, and I wanted to take you on a quick tour around the truck, show you all of its intricacies, and then at the end we'll have a special interview with Jasen Turnbull, Director of Marketing. So let's start on the back here. You have this really cool Lightning text. Now Ford had a Lightning F-150 before and they've completely changed it. This is a full-size truck and nice and blue accents there. LED tail goes all the way across, just like the front we'll see in a second. This is on the higher trim trucks. The lower trim trucks don't have the light bars across all the way. This is a power tailgate. Yeah. Just like all the other F-150s. The bed is the same too. You do have your Pro Power on board. Lots of outlets on this truck. I think 11 outlets, and there's also the, is it 240?
Yep.
Yeah, 240. And yeah, 11 outlets total between the bed and the frunk. Oh, and the cab has 2 outlets as well. Outlets everywhere. You can charge everything. Super made. Power closing tailgate is really nice. All the sensors, of course. Normal F-150 things. Back seat here, just like an F-150, very spacious.
Up in there.
And this is I've actually done road trips in F-150s in the back center seat, believe it or not. I did, I think, 8 hours right here, and I was totally happy. And it's cool, I have an unrestricted view of that giant screen, which is on the top trim trucks as well, not on the lower trim ones. They just have the normal, small...
Just don't close your door with your cup in there.
Oh yeah, look at all these cup holders and storage pockets. The B&O sound system, pretty decent. And then inside the front, of course, oh yeah, you just feel like you're on top of the world in an F-150. Very comfortable. Co-Pilot 360, and yeah, the same screen pretty much as the Mach-E. Vehicle settings, oh, this is more progressed than when I was in it back in April last year. But yeah, this thing folds down in here, and once that's folded in, you have this huge workspace. Cup holders everywhere, USB-A and USB-C and wireless charging. They went over the top on that. And yeah, overall good cab. I love the glass roof on these. They have gauges for battery temperature and then the motor temperatures, including I think front and rear motors separately, so you can really keep track of everything. Look at that power bar. It's just an F-150 and it continues to back when it drains. It's so weird. Love it. 273 miles of estimated range on 99% battery. Based off previous driving, yeah, and let's see, anywhere from 98 to 130 kilowatt hour battery packs, depending on the configuration. Yeah, dual motor, that looks familiar, doesn't it? In case you're used to a Mach-E. Good implementation, I have no real complaints with that. And the Mega Power Frunk, they made a big deal about this. I actually met the person who was the project lead for this for who knows how long. There we go. Look at that. This is huge. It even tells you 400 liters, 400 pounds, and it's reconfigurable. So you can take this up and move it around, put stuff anywhere in there. I don't know, soccer balls, golf clubs. I think they said 2 sets of golf clubs can possibly fit up here. You have more power. Look at all these outlets. You can just tailgate out of this thing. There's a drain plug at the bottom, so you can actually stuff this full of drinks. This is something you can tailgate out of the front and rear. Really a big fan of this. And I might be able to fit in it. I won't do that here, but when we get one to test, that'll be the first thing I test. But yeah, great looking truck. I mean, it's the F-150 we all know and love and is incredibly well selling. So I'm excited to see these on the road. They're not like super obvious, especially just the normal like pro work trucks. It's a great work truck. It'll save a lot of emissions, but let's have this interview with Jasen and hear more about it from him. Jasen, thanks for meeting with me.
No problem.
And yeah, so how long have you been over this project?
So I've been working on it since the beginning. So since it was a piece of paper. So well over 3 years now.
Wow. Okay. And so I'm curious, as marketing manager, this is a product with so much hype already built up around it. So how have you found your job where you're not necessarily trying to hype something up that doesn't have any natural hype? How do you manage that?
So it was really interesting as we're developing it. So we're electrifying this major icon. You know, we have 45 years of sales leadership. So it's a big deal for Ford. As we're researching, what was really cool is we're targeting a wide bandwidth of customers. So from that truck customer that drives a truck now and wants an EV, it fits their usage. But at the same time, you know, we're trying to track that new to Ford customer as well. So during research, it was always interesting to understand, hey, what's the right thing to do for our customers? And because we're trying to track different customers as well.
Yeah, so I was up in, I guess, Michigan Proving Grounds in April seeing this
Yep.
last year, and it was really cool to see, and somewhat surprising. Some people like had crazy renders of like, oh, they're going to do a crazy weird thing, and then they throw Cybertruck on the screen and stuff. But you basically took the if it ain't broke, don't fix it approach. This is compatible with existing interior stuff, bed stuff from previous F-150 customers, and it's of course the new generation. So how do you like? I don't know, what are you going to pitch to someone who's comparing this to like the electric Silverado, which is a totally different redesign? Like, do you consider much of the competition there?
Yeah, so one of the main reasons why we made strategic choices to share the cab and share the bed. One is we sell over 1 million F-Series a year, and we're able to get that cost down. So we're able to give a price point to our customers that they can afford. Also, what we realize in talking to customers from fleet to retail is all these customers are transitioning from their F-150 gas to the EV. We want to make it as seamless as possible. So the bed is the same for a reason. So they can transfer their tonneau cover. They can transfer their toolbox. If a rancher has a big water drum that they water a field. So we're not asking them to buy all new mods and aftermarket equipment just because they're going EV.
Yeah. So with those customers who are transitioning from gas to electric, I wanted to ask about your strategy to, I guess, how do you make the audience know how to operate an electric vehicle, from charging infrastructure, and like what's the learning curve, or what is Ford doing to tell the customers how to operate it?
Yeah, so when they get their Lightning, it's going to look like a truck and basically feel like a truck. But to your point, that charging, that's the number one unknown. We want to make it as easy as possible. So from the largest charging network, from the Ford Blue Oval charging, and then also home charging. For example, what we learned is they say that they know about charging, but really since they've never owned an EV, they really don't. So we want to make sure that we provide an 80 amp Ford Charge Station Pro with all of our extended range Lightning. So when they take it home, they have the right hardware to install in their house.
Yeah, that's right. And you said you guys are partnering with, was it Sunrun, or who is it to?
Yeah, and that's another key thing. So Sunrun is our preferred installer, so they'll be handling any installation. So customers can choose whoever they want, but if they don't know a lot about it, what's going to happen is they will place an order. Sunrun will contact them and say, hey, your delivery is 2 months out. We recommend that we'll come on site, and we can talk through the options of, do you just want the wall box installed to get a charging rate? Do you want that backup power system where the Lightning actually can power your house? And then on top of that, are you interested in solar power? So we're really almost taking a white glove approach to all of our customers, because it's such a new kind of industry that we want to make sure that their first experience with their first EV is a good one.
Yeah, and how about like the education on the towing standpoint? Obviously with the electric Torque, towing
Yeah.
it's a towing monster, but then you have the sacrifice of range. Is there much communication to customers on how to expect with that?
Yeah, so what we say is we can't beat physics. So similar to a diesel or gas or an EV, the more you tow, the worse fuel economy or range.
Yeah.
Specifically for EVs, obviously it basically impacts the range. It's a little more than gas or diesel because there's not a EV charging station every 5 miles down the road, and it takes a little longer. So for us is we really worked hard on what we call intelligent range. So whatever you tow, from 10,000 pounds to 2,000, what the weather is, what's the route, are you taking highways, back roads, mountains, is before you leave the driveway, we want to give you a real world range impact. So if it's 300-mile range label, but if you're towing something, it will be less. So we want to tell you that before you leave the driveway, so you can make those decisions to charge where you want to charge.
And is that input by the driver? Does it tell the truck, or do I as the driver tell the truck what the weather is and what I'm towing and stuff, or does the truck kind of sense that in the early on in the towing?
Yeah, so it's twofold. So one is the basic stuff of what the weather is, what your route is. It's going to take that information automatically and input it. The very first time you hook up a trailer, you are going to input the length and then the width and the height, as well as the estimated weight.
Yeah.
It will take that and then feed it in. The longer that you drive with that trailer, it'll start learning, saying, hey, you said it was 8K and this length, and I should have this data, but you're driving better or worse. So it's personalized basically to you longer term as well.
Gotcha. And then that's the same with the bed, right? It has onboard scales, so you can basically put 2,000 pounds in the bed, and then the truck senses that because of the scales itself.
Yes, so we have a really cool technology called Onboard Scales. It's the sensors in the suspension. So it will take the weight of the frunk, the cab, and the bed, and it'll say, hey, You're driving, you have 500 pounds of payload in the bed, it's 700 pounds total. It automatically takes that weight and inputs that into that intelligent range without you having to do anything.
That's incredible. So like we said, people are going to be using this for towing. That's the forefront of a lot of people's minds. And so I wanted to ask you, Jason, what is the towing? Is there like a towing package specific that people can opt for this on the truck?
Yeah, so we have something called a max trailer tow package. So traditionally on a gas engine, it's suspension, update, maybe wheels, maybe axle. For EVs, it's different. So it's not really the weight. So all of our Lightnings can handle the weight. It's that heat and load under time. So we specifically have our max trailer tow package. It's basically increases the cooling hardware in the vehicle. So it doubles the amount of cooling in both motors as well as the battery. So the key thing is when you're going upgrade at 10K, we want to make sure the battery and motors are in that right temperature kind of range.
Yeah, and so the same thing I guess for downhill, like if we're going down the western slopes of the Rockies, is there like cooling to help with the regen? Because I know it can it over regen, or is it
Yeah,
just...
so we have regen, and then we have that one pedal drive that also maximizes regen. It doesn't improve cooling, but going down a hill while towing is that ultimate regen that you can get out of the truck.
Awesome. Great. Well, yeah, thanks. We're excited to tow with it. Everyone else is excited to tow with it. So, yeah, appreciate that.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah.
And, yeah.